Cameron Crazies are ready for opening night of the college basketball season. The 7th-ranked Duke Blue Devils host Bears from Maine night in Durham, North Carolina. And welcome everybody, along with Chris Patola. I'm Doug Sherman. So glad you're here for opening night, and the opening night for a generational talent. Cooper Flagg is the 6th in the last 11 years #1 recruit in the country to play for the Blue Devils. So Chris, I ask you, what makes him different than any of his predecessors?
It's his approach to the game. He is a competitive monster. He plays the game with great character. And you know, it manifests both in his effort and how unselfish he is when he plays the game. I mean, he takes it so seriously in terms of he could go for 25 points in one game, he could go for 7 points in the next game, and his impact will be of the same degree. He's not hunting shots or stats, he's hunting the right play. And I think it's those winning intangibles which are his best attribute, and it's refreshing. I think if you're seeing Cooper Flagg for the first time tonight, it is refreshing to see a player compete the way he does, a player of his youth and talent.
This is the unfurling of Cooper Flagg. And the other part of this story tonight is that they are playing against his home state school. He told me earlier today he actually dreamt of being a Maine Black Bear when he was a kid. It's the school where his mom was a star basketball player and his twin brother has just committed to for next year. The Blue Devils in their home whites have their the ball first. Lob to the rim, one of the other star-studded freshmen trying to involve him in that screen and roll. Kaman Malawach. He, along with Con Knipple and Cooper Flagg, 3 of the top 10 freshmen in the country. And you've got the veteran backcourt, Caleb Foster, Tyrese Proctor. That foul was on Keelan Steele of the Black Bears. From the moment he showed up in June on campus has shown he's a dude.
Well, he's a lottery pick, and his shooting is his best attribute. But he shows you there, if you're going to close out, which you have to, I mean, you cannot leave him. He's also physical enough and good enough to put it on the floor and take it all the way to the rim.
In Duke's 2 exhibition games, Knipple was 9 of 17 to illustrate your point, Chris. Duke's defense causing trouble. Proctor knocks it out of bounds. Shot clock at 3.7. There you see the third-year head coach at his alma mater, Jon Scheyer, now 37 years old. And he has his name in some good company. What a start to his head coaching career. Maine's got to put it up. Kellen Tynes able to get rid of it. But it is a stop for the Blue Devils.
Duke's defense in their man was much more active against Arizona State. They have such versatility. I mean, they'll switch 1 through 4 with the lineup out there now. They have really good length.
Flagg is fouled. And similar to Jon Scheyer, Chris Markwood in his 3rd year back at his alma mater. Chris is from South Portland. Played a couple of years at Notre Dame before transferring back home to play at Maine. Flagg puts it on the deck. Malawach. He's got a lot of skills for a man who has not been playing basketball for very long and is only 18 years old, able to catch and put it in.
With the shooting gravity, with how well Duke has shot it, you know, he's going to have an open basket. He's just got to roll to that rim, roll hard, and catch it.
Off the bounce, Keon Burns, no. Malawach up above the rim for the rebound.
And he's been a monster on the glass in their first 2 exhibition games. 23 rebounds in both of those, 9 of them offensive.
Well, there was the first steal of the night for the 2-time reigning America East Conference Defensive Player of the Year, Kellen Tynes. His name came up repeatedly during shoot-around this afternoon for Duke and their coaching staff. Tynes is #1. Jaden Clayton also their point guard. Very good for Maine. Turnover forced. Duke gets it back. Second turnover committed by the Black Bears. There is Tynes. a grad student from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, who began his college career at Montana State and has been part of the building for Chris Markwood. This Maine team coming into the year, Chris, picked 4th in the America East. That's the highest they have been seeded in the preseason in 13 years. Foster had it poked away. Clayton into the lane. Tynes with the pull-up. Maine still looking for its first points of the season, and they come on the putback by Keelan Steele, the junior from Ontario.
They play a rotating, three-headed monster at their bigs. Keelan Steele starting this game, a guy who's really battled injuries, has redshirted the last 2 years.
Once again flagged and Malawach. Well, I think we're getting a sense of what makes Cooper Flagg at 6'9" so valuable. He may not lead the team in scoring, but he is going to stuff that stat sheet.
Well, he has led Duke in assists in their first 2 exhibition games. I think he could lead them in assists over the course of the year. That 4-5 ball screen, that ball screen with Cooper Flagg and Malawach in that case is really tough to guard because of that versatility you're talking about. With Flagg and Knipple, the ball always seems to end up where it's supposed to go when they have it.
Foul on Caleb Foster, his first. Killian Gribben has come into the game for Maine. Clayton just caught the front iron. Fight for the basketball comes to Maine. Tell you what, the Black Bears have come to play the lay-in by Keon Burns.
Just keeping possessions alive. Offensive rebound on the last possession there. A broken play. They're able to scoop up. Very nice.
The Black Bears have tied things up on the turnaround by Burns.
Keon Burns spent 2 seasons at LIU, came to Maine last year. He finished the year really well.
What a move by Caleb Foster, plus the foul.
Caleb Foster, because of his foot injury, did not start working out until July. And then he has been moved to that point guard position and has done an exceptional job. I mean, he advances the ball on their break-in transition better than anybody. And then he's that one guy who can really put it on the floor. He's very shifty when he gets into that paint. And a very good catch-and-shoot player. He's a very important piece for them. With the guys around him, he's that table setter they need.
How do you see he and Tyrese Proctor in terms of who handles the basketball this year for Duke?
I think Tyrese is going to be off the ball. I think he has handled it well. The backup for Caleb has been Sion James early. I think you're going to see Cooper Flagg. Just talking to John Shire a little bit, I think you're going to see Cooper Flagg at the point at times this year.
One of those veteran transfers who is so valuable, Mason Gillis, the former Purdue Boilermaker, has his first 2 points in a Blue Devils uniform.
There's that movement off the ball, something John really wanted. John Shire, when they went to that 5-out offense, it gives them that motion away from the basketball.
Malik Brown, the Syracuse transfer, number 6 in white, also out there coming off the bench for Duke. Tynes got an open look. Here comes Cooper Flagg, the freshman from Newport, Maine. And he's fouled. No basket. Foul came before the shot. And he will head to the line after the break with a chance for the Blue Devils.
One of the things John Shire wanted was this paint wide open this year. So you're playing 5-out, and you're just going to see a nice little down screen. Here comes Mason Gillis off. And with the paint wide open and the fact that you have to lock in on shooters on the opposite side, it's just, it's easy basketball, good set. And all 10 of Duke's points so far, Doug, coming from that paint. There you see one of those transfers. Mason Gillis coming over from Purdue. Played in that national championship game last year, coming off of their bench with great experience.
I'll tell you what, Chris. Coach Shire and his staff couldn't have gone to Central Casting to round out the roster any better than he did with the graduate student Sion James from Tulane, Mason Gillis, who we've seen from Purdue. Add in Malik Brown from Syracuse. And talking to Coach Shire this afternoon about them, he said they've gotten over themselves. Knipple is fouled from behind, meaning they have established themselves at this level, at the college level, and they have come to Duke with the idea of doing whatever they can, whatever role that is, to help the Blue Devils win games.
Well, their two best players by far, it's not even close so far, have been Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple. And by adding those three guys you mentioned, Doug, like those are culture guys. Those are locker room guys. Those are guys who have a lot of experience. And I think what those three guys have really embraced is making Flagg and Knipple better. Get those guys easy shots. Make life easy for your two best players. And that's not to say that these other guys aren't going to get theirs, but Knipple and Flagg have to be the priority. And the great thing about Knipple and Flagg is you're going to get that ball back because of how unselfish those two guys are. So you're right. I mean, you hit it right on the head. John was very targeted in who he went out to get to complement their two best players.
After the lane violation, Knipple gets a couple of free throws. 6 unanswered points for Duke. Off the screen, Christopher Mantis, who was brought into this Maine program to do just that this season.
He sure was. Made 49 threes last year on a very good App State team.
Long rebound comes to Knipple, who attacks. 6 quick points for the freshman from Milwaukee.
There's a foul that led to the turnover. Chris Markwood, I don't blame him. But there he is. I mean, he's just all over the place. He always finds the ball, Con Knipple. Yeah, he's a guy who grew up playing in a men's league in Wisconsin. And you can tell, he is not afraid of contact. He's always on the offensive glass and always around the basketball.
Well, even though that shot rimmed out, the fact that Christopher Mantis got another open three will not please the Duke coaching staff. That was a big part of the scout earlier today. Con Knipple. He had 19 against Arizona State in the exhibition. He's picked up where he left off. 9 already, Chris.
Just an easy release. He is an elite shooter.
Flagged the steal and immediately fouled by Novak Perovic.
And I think John Shire is having a good time getting him shots. And again, that's where, like Malik Brown setting that down screen, that's working to get your two best players shots. And then there's the competitor. You know, there's the warrior spirit that Cooper Flagg plays with. Nice job being alert off the ball, making a play in the passing lane.
You know what? When you watch shoot around, you watch practice, warm-ups, whatever, this young man, who was fouled before the shot, is yet to score. Impacted things in the first 6.5 minutes. 3 assists to his credit. You can see on his face, Chris, if he misses multiple shots, consecutive shots, he's irritated. He's not happy.
He's a throwback. You know, his game and how hard he plays is his bravado. He doesn't say a lot. His unselfishness, his giving of himself is his swag. You know, it's really refreshing the way he goes about his business. It's understated, a little bit old school, and to see that, I mean, remember, he's only 17 years old. He doesn't turn 18 until December. So it's not just his talent, it's his approach that makes him just wise beyond his years.
So after the 1-and-1, that was the 7th team foul on Maine. Cooper Flagg's first 2 points as a Blue Devil come from the free throw line. And there is the defensive menace that is Malik Brown. Knipple Con Knippel is a dude.
He's a dude. He's a lottery pick. But it starts with the defense. Like you said, Malik Brown is a deflection steal master. And then, as we said, a nose for the ball. He is always around the basketball, is Con Knippel, an elite shooter.
Foul number 2 on Jaden Clayton. And it is indeed a 4-point play for Knippel. It's now 11 unanswered points for Duke. Clayton able to keep that pivot foot. Five on the shot clock. Duke's defense again inspired, forcing a tough shot up against the buzzer by Gribbin.
And Malawach in 2 different types of ball screens there, just doing a masterful job. He switched, then he was in drop.
Gillis from Knippel. The Duke run makes it 26-9 Blue Devils. What? That is Cooper Flagg's twin brother, Ace Flagg, who not coincidentally in the days leading up to this game announced that he's going to be a Maine Black Bear. He is going to stay in the state of Maine to play for his mother's alma mater. They are different players. They're about the same size. But Cooper reclassified. He should have been a high school senior this year. His brother still is a high school senior. And in talking to Cooper earlier today, he said growing up, when they played one-on-one, Cooper says he would win 9 out of 10 one-on-one matchups with his twin brother.
Cooper says that?
Cooper says it and acknowledges that quite likely Ace would have a different story. But they are different type of players. Ace is more of a forward, Cooper more of a wing. Coming out of the timeout, the Black Bears snap the 14-0 run. Proctor creates some space. Malawach, the offensive rebound. Sion James. And the former Tulane Green Wave misses his first shot as a Blue Devil, and here comes Maine. From behind, got the block, but the Black Bears keep coming. Jaden Clayton with his first bucket of the season.
Yeah, no, broken play bucket by Maine, but how about the activity on both ends from Malawach? He's all over the place, all over the offensive glass, setting screens high and blocking shots on the other end.
Terrific ball movement to find Knippel open in the corner. About the first thing he has missed tonight. 13 points to lead all scores, half of Duke's points. Clayton with consecutive baskets. It's back to a 10-point game.
Yeah, just that open side pick and roll coming off. And as you said earlier, those 2 guards, Jaden Clayton and Kellen Tynes, are the foundation for this Maine program. Experienced guards.
Malawach with a bad pass taken away by Clayton. Well, in the America East Conference, Vermont again this year the team to beat. But the Black Bears are expected to be able to compete. Novak Perovic, the senior from Serbia, with the runner. Back to an 8-point game. That's 9 unanswered points for the Black Bears coming out of that timeout. Knippel. Malawach. Proctor. Got it!
The best thing Tyrese Proctor does is catch and shoot. And that was a good shot. Off of the offensive rebound. Nice job finding the open shooter. Proctor at times, shot selection can be an issue. He's the one guy on a very unselfish team that stands out because he's constantly hunting his shot.
Do you think Proctor will be better than the 35% he shot a year ago?
I do, as long as they're those types of shots.
Malawach. Knipple. A carry, turning it over. Cooper Flagg back in, still looking for his first made basket. Isaiah Evans, another one of the highly touted freshmen. He's from Fayetteville, North Carolina, out of North Mecklenburg. Number 15 recruit in the ESPN 100 a year ago. He makes his Duke debut, number 3 in white. Caleb Foster back into the game, playing defense out front for Duke. Proctor tries to cut off Clayton, who pulls up but misses. Board grabbed by Evans. Foster drives, gets the defender in the air and lays it through.
That's where those drives, they open up, because again, you've got to stay home in the corner on the shooter. A nice job driving the ball to the basket and finishing. And they spent a lot of time working with their guards on finishing around the basket.
Tough step through shot by A.J. Lopez was an air ball. Foster trying to make him pay. Personal foul going to go against Isaiah Evans, and will take us to break. On opening night at Cameron Indoor, the Blue Devils lead by 13.
One area where Maine is really taking advantage, and I think a lot of teams are going to go right after Kaman Malawach, is putting him in ball screens. You've got that open corner. Duke has Malawach in drop coverage. And they've spent a lot of time, trying to get him a little more assertive, using that 7'5" wingspan, Doug, to be a little bit more active. But that's the one area where they have struggled so far in their exhibition schedule. And in this game, I think they're going to see a steady diet up.
7'2", 250 pounds, out of the NBA Academy Africa program. He committed to Duke relatively late, but what an addition he is and will be for Coach Shire's star-studded recruiting class, rated #1 in the country. Kellen Tynes on the turnaround with his first 2 points. Those
two guards, Tynes and Clayton, have done a nice job playing off of 2 feet. They're getting to their spot, using a pivot. They know shot blockers are coming.
Flagg pulls up. Off the back iron. Foster after the rebound, but it comes to Keon Burns. To shoot. Carey able to get the shot up on the rim, just didn't get the roll. Foster steps into a 3, left it short, long rebound, grabbed by Kellen Tynes. Turned around by Lopez, with the Cameron Crazies chanting air ball every time he touches it. Foster hangs in the air, kicks to the corner, the triple, around and out. On the stick back, the first made basket in the Duke career of Cooper Flagg. Give him 4 points on the night.
A nice job with the advance. Again, Caleb Foster getting into the paint. Nice kick out to Evans, and then you've got guys attacking the offensive glass.
Foul on Evans. Coming up next, number 9 North Carolina hosts Elon. We'll wrap up the night with the Nothing But Net crew at 11 Eastern. What a way to tip off the season right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. It'll be interesting to see how reigning ACC Player of the Year R.J. Davis gets his 5th and final season as a Tar Heel underway. Tell you what, Keon Burns is not afraid.
No, he's not. Again, in their last 6 games, he was almost a 50, 40, 90 guy. He had a great finish to the year.
Well, Burns is a 6'6" senior from White Plains, New York, and as you mentioned, Chris, he's an LIU transfer. His 6 points lead Maine. Good position inside and patience for Keelan Steele, his second made basket for the 3rd-year Black Bear, and he's got the underdogs back within 9. Foster, no, here comes Maine trying to push the tempo. Nice job to step in from the weak side by Gillis. That's the 6th turnover, but given right back. Kellen Tynes will head to the free throw line.
Maine has done a nice job when they've gotten into the paint, not panicking. They've used their pivot foot. We've seen this fadeaway from a few different guys here tonight. And then a nice job here again by Keelan Steele, knowing he's got size over the top at 6'10", just taking his time one-on-one. When Maine has taken care of it, they had 5 early turnovers in this game. They've taken much better care of it down the stretch of this half. They've been able to get pretty good looks.
Well, Chris Markwood has 9 returning letter winners from a year ago. And again, this Maine team in his first 2 years have gotten better each year. Having won 15 a year ago, the expectation is that will go up this year. Kellen Tynes makes a pair after having been fouled by Mason Gillis. Flag attacks. Knipple into the lane. Talk about patience in the lane. He's got that as well.
Well, and I'm surprised he didn't shoot it because he was open when he caught it. But again, that flag Knipple connection, flag on the kick out. I mean, Knipple, just the ability. I mean, he had a shot there, but press is the issue, and there's the physicality. He's just got a ready body. He spent a lot of time in a weight room. He's really committed there. 6'7", 215 pounds.
The foul was on Sion James, his first, and the 6th against Duke here in the first half. It's another Maine turnover, and here comes Sion James to the rim. Flag couldn't corral it. He goes into the front row as Maine dribbles back the other way. And a stoppage. Well, this building is just waiting to explode for the type of highlight that we know can come from Cooper Flag.
Well, and my man Sion James sold the clip. You got to put that ball just in the vicinity of the rim, and Flag will get that one.
It'll come. We'll take a break as well from Cameron. 35-25 Duke. Seventh-ranked Duke up 10 on opening night here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. With Chris Spatola, I'm Doug Sherman. Con Knipple has been brilliant so far for the Blue Devils.
He has. I just love watching he and Cooper Flag play because of how they play. I mean, when your 2 best players do effort-based things, and it starts there. I mean, think about how contagious that can be. And that's where those 2 guys start. Like, they impact the game even if they're not scoring, but they can both really get it going, and it's the versatility. I mean, Knipple is an elite shooter, but he has shown you his ability to put it down on the floor. He's shown you ability to, make a play off of a turnover. He's an outstanding offensive rebounder. It's just contagious, with how hard they play. And when it's coming from 2 freshmen, everybody else has to fall in line.
Do you know where they came up with his unusual first name? I had to ask him today.
And what did he say?
He said that his father's family is from near Conway, Montana, And his grandparents named his father Khan because of that. And then his father named him Khan. So there are 2 Khans, probably in the entire world, both from the Kniffel family. Now you know.
Oh, there you go. Breaking out your best stuff in game 1.
How do you know it's my best? Kellen Tynes now with 5. The season is young.
I've done enough games to know what your best stuff is. Doug.
Here comes Flag and throwing it down. Well, that's what the crazies were waiting for. Here he is again, number 2 with the basketball. James off the feed. It's another assist from Cooper Flag.
And that's Cooper Flag bringing it up in transition, initiating the play, and a beautiful skip over the top. And that's the one guy on Duke's team you think you can kind of help off of, but they all can knock it down.
Well, he was 38% a year ago at Tulane. He's a 1,000-point scorer with the Green Wave, so I wouldn't give him too much space.
The volume of guys they have.
Steele to the reverse. Nice job to keep the defender on his back.
2 foot surgeries the last 2 years for Steele. Has had the red shirt both years, so he hasn't played a lot of basketball. But he's done a nice job on the interior for them in this first half.
Flag. He goes to the reverse. Starting to heat up. He's got 8 points. Well, the expectation is that he could have the same type of impact on college basketball, not just here at Duke, but nationally that we saw to Zion Williamson a few years ago. Do you think that is possible this year for Cooper Flag?
There's no question about it. Now, here's the thing. I mean, Zion Williamson went to an Elite 8. Paolo Banchero went to a Final 4. So I think the judgment ultimately is, you know, what do you do in the postseason? But there's no question that he will have the impact as a talent.
Cooper Flag out of Nokomis Regional High School. Grew up in Newport, Maine, about a 35-minute drive from the University of Maine campus. So his home state school, and he's doing things like that against the Black Bears.
He's so good at putting it on the floor. Again, in transition, there, out of the pick and roll. They didn't even set it. And obviously the length to finish. He's a really good athlete. The one thing it'll be interesting to see, Doug, as the year moves on, you know, shooting, he is an improved shooter. It is not certainly what he does best. On those types of ball screens, do you go underneath? Will we see teams going under with him? Will we see teams daring him to shoot, sort of forcing him to that perimeter shot?
Doesn't get the finger roll, but there to clean it up, Malik Brown. The Syracuse transfer has his first 2 points of the year. Yeah, you don't need to run a play for Malik Brown. He doesn't even want for that to happen. He is just in the right place at the right time all the time. With a minute to go in the first half, the putback for the Black Bears and for Killian Gribben, the Siena transfer.
And that's their 6th offensive rebound in this first half. It's been a one problem area after that first shot. It's been a one problem area for Duke.
Flag now 0 for 3 from distance. He's got 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists.
This offensive glass, again, 6 offensive rebounds. Another one of those, you know, off a 2 feet fall away, and then Gribben just sneaking in there. Nobody putting a body on those bigs, especially for Maine. And you can tell John Shire not pleased.
Well, John Shire this afternoon said he was fully expecting the Black Bears to come in here Said they're a well-coached team, and he expected his team to get a good test, and that is indeed what we have seen here in the first half.
It's a much better test than Arizona State gave him, that's for sure.
Flag with 5 on the shot clock. Got to put it up. That does not count. Terrific defense once again by the Black Bears to force yet another turnover. That is number 7 committed by Duke.
And just, you know, nobody really aware of the clock.
Perovich to trigger against the full court pressure with 3.2 seconds to go in the half. Tynes puts it up. A competitive start to the new season for Jon Scheyer and his Duke Blue Devils, up by 11. And the debut of Cooper Flagg off to a flying start. We'll send it back to the studio. Taylor Tannenbaum and the guys. On opening night here in Durham, North Carolina, the 7th-ranked Duke Blue Devils with an 11-point lead over the Maine Black Bears out of the America East Conference. Welcome back, everybody. Along with Chris Patola, I'm Doug Sherman. And of those 44 points, 23 of them have come from Con Knippel and Cooper Flagg, their 2 sensational freshmen.
Yeah, they're 2 best players, and they've done it in a number of different ways. I mean, Knippel's got 2 threes. We've seen the versatility from both of them. You know, it's just they take the fight to you. And, you know, there's the 3 from the elite shooter that Knippel is. He picks up the trash there on the broken play, and then he shows you he can drive it. Puts that physical body, 215 pounds, down on the deck and finishes. And then Cooper Flagg, he's got the 8 points, has shown you the package, initiating offense here on the offensive glass. Then he puts it on the ground, can show you finish at the basket. He's also got 4 assists. He's leading Duke in that category. The versatility is astounding for those 2 young players.
They both played 16 of the possible 20 minutes for Jon Scheyer in that first half. And good balance otherwise. We have seen flashes from the other highly touted freshman. Kaman Malawach, 4 points, 5 rebounds. Both sides have been a bit sloppy, Chris. 8 turnovers for Maine, 7 for Duke.
Yeah, the 7 for Duke, and then the offensive glass hurt Duke at the end of that half. Maine has 6 offensive rebounds. Their bigs doing a nice job, just extra effort, finding themselves around the rim, scooping some stuff up. You know, Maine's style kind of fits this type of a game. You know, they're very deliberate on the offensive end. They can do a better job plugging gaps. You know, typically they're pretty heavy in their gaps in their defense. They, you know, because of Duke's shooting, they really spread you out.
The 120th season of Duke basketball beginning here tonight in venerable Cameron Indoor Stadium, which dates back to 1940. Maine with the basketball first in their navy uniforms with the sky blue lettering and white trim. Ball slapped away from Clayton. Flagg then lost it. Back to Clayton. Good ball movement. Finding Burns open from 3.
Just sloppy from Cooper Flagg, sloppy from Duke in traffic there, and another broken play that Maine's able to take advantage of. And a nice job sharing the basketball to find a quality shot.
Burns leads Maine with 9. Proctor no. Malawach had a hand on it. It'll stay at this end.
Well, Maine's made a number of scrappy plays. There's the poke away from Flagg, and then nice play by Keon Burns with that backflow coming from behind and a good extra pass to get an open shot.
Proctor, nothing but net. The junior from Sydney, Australia, now with 6 points.
That's his shot. Catch and shoot. Doesn't have to be spectacular. He's got to be dependable this year for Duke.
Kellen Tynes just inside the three-point line, left it well short. Here's Con Knipple, who leads all scorers with 15. Foster to flag. Looked like it might have been clean up top by Keelan Steele, but he's going to pick up the personal foul, his second.
And there's that wide pin down. Again, that early offense. Duke's advance is so good. And because they space those guys in those corners, you get that pin down, you get Cooper Flagg coming off. You know, he had 4 assists in the first half, which means in 5 halves of basketball, the 2 exhibitions in the first half, Doug, he has 13 assists and only 1 turnover. He's going to lead them in that category this year. I mean, he draws so much attention. With his size coming up the floor, he can see over the top. And as we know, his instincts and his feel are outstanding.
He's now got 10 points. Chris, who do you think for Duke is going to be the leading scorer this season?
It's a great question. You know, probably Con Knipple would be my offering.
As Proctor picks up the foul.
From what we've seen so far. They got a lot of dudes, though. You know, I was sitting on Friday at their practice with Brad Stevens, the president of the Celtics, who was there watching, and the thing that stood out to him about them was just the number of guys and the interchangeability that they have.
Personal against Clayton.
I know that. I don't know if he just fell over or...
Either way, it's another Black Bears turnover. Flag with the basketball in hand. Foster to the corner. Knipple to Flag. But that's how Duke wants to play on offense, right? Get it into the paint and then kick it out to an open shooter.
No question. And the spacing allows them to do that, and the unselfishness.
Malawash didn't need to block it, just his mere presence. But then on second effort, Keelan Steele with a chance for 3. Well, you talked about the injuries that have kept Keelan Steele from playing. He had a career-high 4 points against Maine Augusta 2 years ago, a Division III opponent. He's come into Cameron here tonight and is already into double figures.
And he's perfect from the field. He hasn't missed a shot. He's been very active on the inside. He's been physical. And that's the one area, you know, when you talk to Chris, we talked to Chris Markwood today, they have really experienced guards. Nice bank job there. Really experienced guards. Their wings are athletic, and he likes their physicality and skill up front.
This game was tied at 6. Duke went on a run and has maintained a double-figure lead for the most of the rest of this game. Malawash will head to the line to shoot 3. He is number 8 on Jonathan Gavoni's latest NBA draft big board, which has Cooper Flagg number 1, Con Knipple number 6. That is the 4th personal foul on Keelan Steele, which seems to be inevitable, having to do all of what he is asked to do. And yes, that is a left glove that Malawash is wearing for the foreseeable future to protect his hand. He's got a minor hand injury, and so we saw in both of the exhibition victories and then during practice and shoot around, he continues to wear it in the game here tonight. Coach Shire, though, says it doesn't impact his play, has not hurt him, but he wouldn't mind seeing it come off somewhere down the road because that would mean his hand's feeling better. Killian Gribben off the mark. Here comes Cooper Flagg with a full head of steam. Likes the matchup, backing down.
Big time.
Well, when you've got Kellen Tynes at 6'3", trying to hang with that big man, it's going to be tough to keep him from getting to where he wants to go.
Well, somebody's got to come over and get his back. You've got to get the ball out of Flagg's hands, but how about the patience? I mean, 2 or 3 spins, got to his spot, played off of 2 feet, right over the top.
That's 12 points tonight for Cooper Flagg. Lobs it up, then goes to set the screen. Rejected by Foster right down the lane. Missed the shot. And then the rebound went off his hand and out of bounds.
You know, either Flag brings it up or they throw it to him early in transition because he's trailing the play oftentimes. And like you said, Doug, you got the matchup. Nobody comes over to help. Kellen Tynes, I mean, at that point, you have got to get the ball out of Cooper Flag's hands. But again, with the shooting gravity of Duke and the number of shooters they have, everybody's reluctant to leave their guy.
Five on the timer. Burns puts up a tough shot. Malik Brown off the Duke bench early here in the second half. Flag works to the baseline, finds Knipple in the opposite corner for three.
It's a great pass from Flag. Not good defense. You cannot leave Con Knipple. Like, you have got to stay in his pocket. He is too elite a shooter for you to be ball watching, not expecting him. This is, again, a high-level pass. But Jaden Clayton, what are you doing, my man?
Country music royalty here at Cameron Indoor Stadium tonight. Zach Brown at the Zach Brown Band, sitting right behind the Duke bench. You just never know when you come to Cameron who you're going to see, Chris.
You know I like my chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night. Doug, how about you?
I do. I had the chance to see him in concert down in Tampa this past spring. Fabulous as always. Duke is on a 7-0 run, matching its largest lead of the night at 17. Good closeout by Flag to make that a tough shot for Keon Burns. James Proctor, Brown, Flag. There's James off the bounce from last year's Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC.
The other thing Malik Brown does really well, he's a very good passer. You know, he's very good at it, that short roll out of the pocket, top of the key like he was there. He's just got a good feel as a passer.
Clayton pulls up. Little strong. Flag with another rebound, and he'll bring it up himself. 6 rebounds now for the freshman in his debut. Well, there's the strength of James. When you look at him, you understand he can make plays like that.
Yeah, like you said, 1,000-point scorer in his time at Tulane, doing a lot of that. You know, Duke really hasn't had a guard with his size. Not many football teams have had players with his size.
Well, we talked with Coach Shire earlier today about the 3 key transfers he has coming off the bench. Kellen Tynes with the basket. I said, is this the template for Duke basketball going forward, where you bring in the elite freshmen and then surround them with veteran transfers? And he said, yes, but no. He would love to not take as many transfers necessarily. He'd like them to be homegrown if possible. Brown has it rattled out, but he was not complaining at all. He is thrilled with the way they filled out the roster this year, using as many transfer spots as they have. Flag with another rebound, and he's fouled in the backcourt. And that'll take us to break. The debut of Cooper Flag going well for the 7th-ranked team in the country.
What?
Welcome back to Cameron. This 5-out offense for Duke's really tough to guard because of the spacing. John Shire puts his 2 best players in the corner. This basket's wide open. You just get a little screen here and then a slip to the basket by Sion James. You can't leave the corners because of who's there. And then that basket, Doug, is wide open. And that's That's the rhythm that Duke is in right now offensively. And, you know, you credit John Shire, the job he and his staff have done. A lot of it has to do with their personnel, too. I mean, you just got a lot of guys who have a really good feel, high IQ for the game.
So Flag and Knippel understood that the slip was coming, and they knew to stay out of the way.
Or it's their responsibility, you know, being in the corners, and then, you know, Sion James has that option to slip off of that little screen. James turns it over.
Second half shooting, Duke starting to seize control fully. 60% since the break. Maine shooting only 27% since the break. Clayton guarded by James. Gribbin. Flag and James around the perimeter. Gillis back in along with Malik Brown. Here's Flag, spins around the defender, and an offensive foul. He hooked the defender with that elbow. That's personal foul number 1 on Cooper Flag.
Yeah, I mean, by rule.
So you're saying you didn't like it?
I mean, look, if I'm Jaden Clayton, I'm loving the bailout, for sure.
Logan Carey in the game, a sophomore guard from Shelton, Connecticut. To the left hand, that's a nice looking move by Jaden Clayton. Give him 6 points for the junior from Whitby, Ontario. And again, it's the backcourt for the Black Bears, Clayton and Tynes, that has Chris Markwood and this Maine basketball team so looking forward to this new season. Picked 4th in the America East. Of course, John Becker's Vermont Catamounts, the favorites once again this year. But Maine continues to make strides under their 3rd-year head coach. And he is a Black Bear through and through. A 2005 graduate, former captain. Gillis on the backdoor pass, and once again it's Brown with a perfect feathered bounce pass.
And another slip to the basket.
Gillis does a nice job staying with the shooter Mantis. Foster puts it on the deck, draws the contact, and puts it through.
Well, Duke's offense is rolling. They got a lot of dudes. Caleb Foster, little bump, little bounce, hit ball.
Listen up. Followed by number 23 Pitt and Virginia at 8. Each game is also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Watch to see if the Duke football team can come up with its 7th win of the year and how they deal with the terrific freshman quarterback of the Wolfpack, C.J. Bailey. Multiple offensive rebounds for Duke. With Chris Patola, I'm Doug Sherman here at Cameron Indoor. And that time, Malik Brown unable to hook up with the cutter. This time it was Proctor, and the ball goes out of bounds back to Maine. 11th Duke turnover. If you're on the Duke bench, does that turnover not bother you quite as much?
No, I don't think it does, because it's one of those of commission.
Yes.
You know, it was a tight window, but certainly it's a play that Malik Brown can make. Gone here in the second half. What a spinning bucket and a chance for 3 by Logan Carey. I mean, I don't know how he got it through that window. I had to see it twice. Yep. I mean, just squeezing it through there as Malik Brown comes over. What a finish.
The foul win against Foster, his 2nd. Nicely done by number 0 in blue for Maine, Logan Carey. It was an 11-point lead at halftime. The Blue Devils have stretched it out here in the second. Gillis. Soaring in is James, back to the corner. The former Boilermaker misses consecutive three-point shots. And the ball goes back over to Maine.
Yeah, we were talking to Chris Markwood earlier today. Asked him, is this your first time in the building? He said, no, I've been here one other time before. I was an assistant at Vermont in 2013-14. They lost to Duke by 1. They had a shot, I guess, at the end of the game. That was the year that Duke had Jabari Parker and Rodney Hood. So when he was at BC as an assistant, Duke, I guess, came up to play them. So this is his second time in Cameron Indoor Stadium.
And we talked about the fact that he is a former Black Bear himself. His wife, Ashley, was also a star basketball player at Maine. She has made the trip with her 2 daughters. Caleb Foster lays it in. No whistle. Play continues after the miss by Revon Tudic. Knipple comes to a stop and banks it in.
You know, Kai Knipple was the help on that slip to the basket on the last possession down there. I mean, he comes over, makes a great defensive play, and then ends up scoring on the other end.
Whistle against Duke.
Yeah, here's this play by Knipple. Watch him come over. He reads the play, walls up, and forces a miss. You know, those 2 guys, he and Cooper Flagg, make you feel them. And then on the other end, nice job using his shot fake. He's got that kickstand body, but I'm telling you, man, he's physical, he's tough.
Well, he was Mr. Basketball in the state of Wisconsin last year at Wisconsin Lutheran High School. Team went 30-0 to claim the state championship. And he gets here to Duke, and his teammate Cooper Flagg had gone 33-0 and won a national title at Montverde.
Well, they have both been well coached. I mean, that's where we were talking about Ace Flagg and Cooper earlier. Like, they were coached by a guy named Andy Bedard, who is a Maine basketball legend. Coached by Andy from a young age, and he coached them hard. Like Cooper Flagg has been coached hard. Kai Knipple has been coached hard. And you see the result.
Here goes Knipple. Goes to the right hand. He's now got 22 points. Defended by Foster. Foster tries to stay with him. Tynes no-look pass, but James was there waiting for it. Sion James will head to the line to shoot 2. Would you draw a charge, or try to, if Sion James at 6'6", 220 was coming at you with a full head of steam?
I wouldn't step in to take a charge if it was you coming down. Are you crazy? I'd break in half.
He is Chris Patola, 2-time scoring champion in the Patriot League during his days at Army. You were not leading the Patriot League in charges drawn, I guess.
I was not, or attempted. Charges drawn.
Business decision, right?
No question.
You were too valuable at the other end of the floor.
Oh, I've got a face for TV.
Well, that was the 8th steal of the night for Duke, turning it into points at the other end. James out of Sugar Hill, Georgia, with a couple of free throws. He's had a real nice debut. 9 points off the bench tonight for Duke.
It's going to do it. Keelan steal.
And if it's steal, That would be his 5th.
Yeah, I like the call. You know, Malowacz is impeding, and Steele trying to fight through there.
So after a career night here at Cameron Indoor Stadium, Keelan Steele sits down having fouled out with 11 points. But a terrific start to the season for the now healthy 6'10" junior. Been replaced by Killian Gribben again, a 6'10" junior from Ireland. 1 on the shot clock, and the whistle comes, and a foul is called. And I'm not sure both officials saw that the same way. The official out near the perimeter said that is a foul on Duke, and that is the call that stands.
Yeah, I don't know about that call. I mean, he puts his hand on him, but obviously Burns was off balance to begin with, and then I think Concanipple just kind of walls up.
Yeah, and I think the other official was going to call out of bounds, and we didn't see a cylinder call by either official. Keon Burns putting together a nice night here at Cameron. Give him 11 points. He and Steele share the lead for the Black Bears. Concanipple leads all scorers with 22. Cooper Flagg has 12 in his debut. James left it a little short. Fight for the ball comes to the Black Bears. And the Blue Devils commit a foul in the backcourt. It goes against Concanipple. And we will take a break after the freshman picks up his 2nd personal. Duke basketball royalty in the house. Luol Deng, 15 years in the NBA, 2-time All-Star. And he's here because Kamon Malowacz is one of his. Kamon has been mentored by his fellow South Sudanese basketball player. And so Luol back and checking things out. If we can go back to that shot, the buddy sitting next to Luol Deng is actually wearing a shot of Luol when he was a Duke Blue Devil. And I don't know why Chris Matola is not wearing a Doug Sherman shirt right now. That's what friends are for right there.
It's on layaway. I wanted to wear it tonight. They put it on layaway.
They're a hot item.
What would you be doing in that shot?
Making a shot, of course. I can get you one.
Oh, man.
Well, Malowacz wears number 9 because that's the number Luol Deng wore in the NBA. He wore number 2 while he was a Dookie. This week, ACC Huddle starts the day at a special time of 2 Eastern from Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh with a 90-minute pregame show leading into Duke NC State at 3:30, and then they're back at 6:30 to wrap up the afternoon with highlights and analysis and to get you set for Virginia Pitt at 8. After the game, stay right here on ACCN for a full postgame show to wrap up the night, and we'll see how Eli Holstein and the Pitt Panthers bounce back from their loss to SMU. Flag drive and dish to Nipple. No. Clayton keeps the dribble. Gribben's pass knocked away. Here comes Cooper Flagg. Flying high.
How many times have we seen Flagg in the passing lane tonight? Anticipating, using that length.
He's a wonderful combination of not just the physical gifts, but the mental gifts and fundamentals. Having the proper hand in the passing lane to come up with it, keep it in bounds, and to be able to go the distance.
Well, he competes. He's in every play. He's trying to make the right play. And it's what separates him.
To the left hand now for 16 points. Proctor grabs the long rebound. Off the ball foul committed by Kellen Tynes.
It's the whole package tonight for Cooper Flagg. In that passing lane. Shows a little flair at the end there. And then just facing up. Mid-post, goes to work with the left.
Flagg is 6 of 13 for 16 points. 0 for 4 from distance. He's made his 4 free throws, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, couple of turnovers in 27 minutes. And the numbers just keep going up for the 6'9", 205-pound freshman from Newport, Maine. And again, it's not a coincidence that this game was scheduled. Coach Shire, when we asked him earlier today, said, yeah, it was kind of something we wanted to do to get Maine and Duke together because of what the state of Maine and the people of Orono really do mean to the Flagg family. And again, his mom was a star player on a dynastic women's basketball program back in the 90s at Duke, or at Maine rather. His brother has just committed. His twin brother Ace is going to be a Black Bear next year. And so it just seemed to make sense all the way around to have Maine come here to Cameron.
And Maine has given them a good look tonight. You know, certainly a better look than the 2 exhibitions gave Duke.
Timer under 10. Flagg pokes it away, but he's going to be called for the reach-in. To the chagrin of the Crazies. That is foul number 2 on Flagg. And we talk so much about his offense. His defense might be ahead of his offense, right? I mean, he is such a good on-ball and help-side defender.
He is. First of all, that was a foul. Despite John Shire's reaction. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say his defense is ahead of his offense because his offense is, you know, certainly at an advanced state. But he's committed defensively, which again, you know, there are a lot of things that really hyped, talented, anointed young players do not do. Effort, commitment to defense, these things you're talking about, Doug, that Cooper Flagg does. I mean, he sits down in a stance and he is willing to defend. And he's alert off of the ball.
Foster had it knocked away on the way up by Burns. At the other end, the foul committed by Knippel. And we will have free throws upcoming for A.J. Lopez, the senior from Queens, New York, out of Mount Zion Prep in Maryland, who began his college career at the University of New Hampshire. Well, Chris, the fall seasons roll on, and we have 3 more ACC championships for you right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Our women's soccer coverage continues through the semifinals Thursday at 5:30 and 8 Eastern. The field hockey quarterfinals begin tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, and the men's soccer first round starts Wednesday at 6 and 8. ACCN is the home of ACC championships. The ACC currently has 7 teams ranked either number 1 or number 2 nationally, including the Duke women's soccer team number 1, Clemson number 2, and the North Carolina field hockey team number 2 in the country. You'll get a chance to see them in their ACC tournament play. Knippel gets his own miss, and he'll bring it back out. A little more than 5 minutes remaining here on opening night at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Behind the back, Flagg pulls up, no. Brown back out to Flagg, thought about it. Foster to Proctor, spotting up. Well, you said that's the best part of his game, and now he's going to have a chance for 4.
It is. That's what he's got to be able to do. Hunt his catch and shoot. You know, I think he's been humbled by the last 2 years. Tyrese Proctor, you know, a guy that, you know, some thought maybe be a one and done. It certainly hasn't turned out that way. You know, he hasn't fought being off the ball. They moved him off of the point. He's not going to score his way into the NBA. You know, he's got to be a guy, good catch-and-shoot player, 3-to-1 assist to turnover, and somebody who defends, which he's certainly capable of doing.
He's now got 10 points, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. And you'll remember Proctor got here young. He was a reclassified guy. And it's an illustration of just how hard it is to play at this level, especially when you have classed up. Foster rattles home a 3. Largest lead of the night for the Blue Devils. There is that effort on defense we've been talking about from Cooper Flag.
You know, that's I said in the open, he plays the game with character. This is what I mean. You know, the willingness to A, defend, and B, dive on the floor for a loose ball. That's playing with a warrior spirit. And when you combine that with talent, that's why, if you're seeing him for the first time, that's why Cooper Flag is special.
And it permeates through the roster. If your best player plays like that, the other guys are going to. On the shot clock. Lopez. Not sure he beat the buzzer, but they let the play go on after the miss. Well, we've got all 3 of the transfers out on the floor right now for Duke. Brown kicks it out to James, to Gillis. Here's Proctor. And again, that trio of guys, Cooper Flag is down on the floor at the other end of the court. And in some pain. We'll step away as they work on that left leg of Cooper Flag.
Running a business.
As we went to break, the 9,300 here at Cameron Indoor Stadium were holding their collective breath as Cooper Flag went down.
Yeah, and all signs, you know, looks like it was just a cramp. In fact, saw him say that. But if you're John Shire in that moment, your heart's probably got to stop for a beat.
Oh yeah. Well, the freshman Flag and Knippel right from the start have been terrific. You see, scoring 40 of the 85 points, and that is just part of the story.
You know, John Shire was telling me a story the other day. I was asking about the relationship between Knippel and Flag, and he said Cooper wasn't practicing well one day, and Kahn screamed at him and said, "Flag, lock the F in.
Wow.
What are you doing?" And then to Cooper's credit, he turned back and said, "I got you. I got you."
Yep. And that's something else that permeates through the team. If he is accountable and allows for himself to be held accountable by his peers, it's great. Darren Harris, the freshman from Herndon, Virginia, has his first 3 points as a Duke Blue Devil. Tough shot off the window, too strong. Brown clears the rebound. Foul on the 3 will send Harris to the free throw line. And we talk so much about the 3 freshmen in the starting lineup, but John Shire, as usual, with the #1 rated incoming freshman class in the country this year. It's not just 3 guys, and Harris is a big part of it. He was rated number 31 of the ESPN 100 last year, and that shows you how tough it can be to get playing time on a roster this deep, maybe the most talented in the country.
Well, he's going to be good. I mean, he's already good, but to your point, they just don't have enough room, you know, to get him out there, certainly in close games. You know, he and Isaiah Evans are kind of fighting the same battle. But Harris can shoot, he's talented, and will be good in time.
Well, North Carolina has its share of highly touted freshmen coming up next. The number 9 Tar Heels will host Elon. We'll wrap up the night with a nothing but net crew then at 11 o'clock Eastern. What a way to tip off the season right here on ACCN and the ESPN app here in the Triangle, starting with the Blue Devils, and then we'll toss it off to Chapel Hill, and we'll see what the Tar Heels have in store for the start of their season. That has become a tradition on ACC Network to have back-to-back 7 and 9 o'clock games, either start at Duke and go to Carolina, or this year, or other years going the other way around. Sion James somehow keeps his footing and lays it in. 11 points. The young man out of Lanier High School in Georgia. Again, he averaged 14 points per game a season ago with Tulane. He is capable of putting up numbers. Gillis steals it away, and here comes James. Evans flares to the corner. Gillis fills in on the wing and buries the triple. Again, Brown, James, and Gillis bring so much experience to this young Duke roster.
They sure do. Mason Gillis won 110 games in 4 years at Purdue. Of course, played in the national championship. He was 110 and 29 in 4 years at Purdue. They won 29 games 2 years ago, 29 games the year after that, and last year they won 34 games at Purdue. And of course, Zach Edey has a lot to do with that, but Mason Gillis, a big part of it. He's physical, he's tough, he's got that big brother vibe to him.
And he can score. He put 29 on Penn State a couple of years ago, including a Mackey record 9 made threes. He has played in 11 career NCAA tournament games. So that veteran leadership in his 5th year coming to Durham is just going to pay dividends all year long for Coach Schein. He is now the 6th Duke player tonight to reach double figures. Brown's pass knocked away. Stolen by Keon Burns. And he makes him pay with a driving layup. Well, Burns has 15 points to lead Maine. Steele fouled out with 11 with just under a minute remaining here at Cameron. Well, after 2 blowout exhibitions, they beat Division II Lincoln 107-56, and then Arizona State 103-47. In those 2 games, Duke shot the lights out 45%. They have not shot quite that well tonight, but at 38%, that's good. What have you seen out of the Blue Devils in their first regular season game tonight?
Yeah, I think they were better defensively in this second half. You know, the question for them when you start getting to play better teams is, can they defend and rebound consistently? You know, and the offensive glass hurt them a little bit in the first half. But their offense is really tough to guard. I mean, it starts again with the ability to shoot the three, and the number of guys they have that can do that, and the gravity that creates on the floor. And again, John Shire's done a nice job leveraging that. But can they defend and rebound consistently against good teams, I think becomes the question.
Clayton can't get the roll. And Duke, with 6 double-figure scores, can just dribble it out. Knipple 22, Flag 18 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. 11 points apiece for Foster and James, 10 apiece for Gillis and Proctor. A lot of weapons this year for people to deal with when they face the Blue Devils. Your final score, 96-62, your final score. The regular season here at Cameron is underway with a bang. The freshmen lived up to the expectations. For Chris Patola, I'm Doug Sherman saying so long from Durham. Duke wins at 96-62. Coming up next, Elon and Carolina. But for now, we send it back to the studio.